When you love someone, but due to misunderstandings, tough times, or distance, you part ways, you may think it's over. But if you see these 7 signs in that person, know this: Allah may still have a plan for both of you. Sign 1. They protect your faith. One of the clearest signs that someone is truly special for you, someone worth holding on to, is when they care about your connection with Allah even more than your connection with them. This is the person who reminds you to pray not out of control or criticism, but out of love and genuine concern for your soul. When life gets hard, they don't just offer empty words, they bring you comfort with verses from the Quran. They encourage you to make dua, to be patient, to trust in Allah's plan. And when you start to drift, they gently guide you back. That's not just love for the heart, it's love for your akhirah. And that kind of love is rare. This is the kind of person the Prophet pointed to when he said, "Marry the one who is religious." Bukhari. Because beauty fades, charm comes and goes, and emotions rise and fall. But a person who protects your deen, who uplifts you spiritually, is someone who truly adds value to your life in this world and the next. They don't tempt you away from your values, they help you uphold them. They don't mock your struggles. With faith, they stand beside you through them. So if you walk away from someone like that, someone who supports your relationship with Allah, you're not just losing a partner. You're losing a source of spiritual strength. In a world full of distractions, people like this are anchors. They protect your iman when you're weak and celebrate your growth when you're strong. That's not just love. That's mercy from Allah. Sign 2. They don't want to let you go for the sake of Allah. There's a kind of love that's loud, possessive, and rooted in ego. The kind that says, "If I can't have you, no one can." But true love, the kind that is sincere and grounded in faith, sounds very different. It whispers, "If this is truly from Allah's mercy, He will bring us back together when the time is right." That's the kind of love that is selfless, that lets go, not out of apathy, but out of trust in Allah. When someone is deeply connected to Allah, they won't try to force you into their life. They won't guilt you, manipulate you, or cling to you out of desperation. Instead, they'll quietly make dua for you. They'll pray for your well-being, your happiness, and your iman, even if that means watching you walk away. That's not weakness, that's spiritual strength. Because while they may love you deeply, they love Allah more. They don't claim you. They don't need to, because they know you belong to Allah first. And if you're meant to return to each other, He will make it happen in the best way, at the best time. And if not, they trust that His plan is better than their desires. This is the kind of love that leaves a mark, not because it chained you, but because it freed you in the name of faith. A love that says, "Even if we part, I'll continue asking Allah to bless you." That's rare, that's real, that's love for the sake of Allah. Sign 3. You can't stop making dua for them. Sometimes love doesn't need daily conversations, text messages, or physical presence. Sometimes the most powerful form of connection happens in silence, on the prayer mat, in the depths of the night. You might not be in touch anymore. There may be no calls, no updates, no trace of them in your life. And yet, you find yourself thinking of them during tahajjud. Your eyes well up with tears, and your heart whispers their name in dua. That's not just longing. That's love being lifted to the one who created it. This isn't just a human connection. It's something deeper, something sacred, a connection that has been placed into the hands of Allah. And that's what makes it so powerful. Because even if life has pulled you apart, your heart hasn't let go. Not because of attachment, but because of sincerity. You're not asking Allah to give them to you. You're asking Him to bless them, guide them, protect them, even if it's from afar. Allah reminds us, whoever puts their trust in Allah, He is sufficient for them. Surah At-Talaq 65:3. And when you raise your hands in dua, especially when there's no one watching, no one listening but Him, your trust is complete. You're not relying on texts or timing or circumstances. You're relying on Al-Wakil, the one who is enough. This kind of love doesn't seek to control or possess. It seeks to uplift. It doesn't demand a happy ending. It submits to Allah's will. Because when you love someone for the sake of Allah, you keep them in your prayers, even if they're no longer in your life. Sign 4. Their memory doesn't corrupt you. Not every relationship leaves you with peace. Some only leave behind scars, memories full of sin, heartbreak, and regret. You look back, and all you see is how far you fell from Allah. But then, there are the rare ones. The ones that, even after they've ended, don't drag you into darkness. Instead, they pull you closer to the light. When you remember this person, you don't fall into temptation or despair. You don't get lost in fantasies or drown in grief. You cry, yes, but those tears aren't for what was lost. They're tears of repentance, of humility, of longing to return to Allah, because somehow their memory reminds you of who you want to be in front of your Creator. Their presence in your past doesn't corrupt your present, it corrects it. Their memory doesn't lead you away from Allah, it leads you back to Him. And that's why you haven't truly lost them. You see, people like this are not gone. They're preserved, not in your phone contacts or your Instagram feed, but in Allah's plan. And what is with Allah is never lost. If that relationship brought you closer to your Rabb, even in its absence, then it served a divine purpose. Even if they're no longer beside you, they've helped you take a step closer to Jannah. So don't confuse absence with loss. Some people leave, and it's a mercy. Others stay in your heart, and it's a sign that your story with them might not be written on earth, but it's preserved in a higher place. And if Allah wills, He can reunite souls in the most beautiful of ways. Until then, let their memory keep turning you back to Him. Sign 5. They understand your pain and don't pressure you. A true relationship isn't just about smiles and celebration. It's tested in silence, in sorrow, in moments when you
feel broken. And that's when the real ones reveal themselves. The one who stands by you during hardship, who doesn't get impatient when you're not okay, who listens to you without trying to fix you or force you to heal faster. That
person is a blessing. They don't make you feel like a burden. They make you feel seen, understood, and safe. They don't say, just get over it. They say, be patient. Allah is with you. They don't try to change you to fit their expectations. Instead, they walk beside you and say, let's grow together. That kind of presence isn't just comforting, it's healing. It's the kind of love that reflects divine mercy. It's a sign that Allah has placed someone in your life not just to share your joy, but to carry part of your pain. The Prophet said, a believer is like a wall to another believer. They support each other. Bukhari. That's what real love looks like. Not someone who's only around when you're smiling, but someone who leans in when the world pushes you down. A person who strengthens your faith by simply being there, calm, steady, and patient. So when someone accepts your pain, honors your process, and encourages your growth without pressure, know that's rare. That's not just compatibility, that's compassion rooted in Iman. And if Allah sent someone like that into your life, hold on to them. Because relationships built on spiritual support are the ones that weather any storm and last beyond this life. Sign 6. They want to protect you from sin in. Today's world, love is often misunderstood. Many people, especially in their youth, fall into haram relationships under the illusion of affection and companionship. They justify their choices by saying, love is love, or we'll make it right eventually. But true love, the kind that is blessed by Allah, is not reckless. It's rooted in purity, responsibility, and a desire to please the Creator before pleasing oneself. So when someone tells you, I love you, but I love Allah more, let's move forward in a halal way. Understand the weight of those words. That statement is not just romantic, it's deeply spiritual. It reflects a heart that prioritizes divine guidance over fleeting desires. It's a sign that the person sees your relationship as an amana, a trust from Allah that must be protected, not played with. Let's reflect on this. Anyone can say they care for you, but someone who's willing to delay gratification, resist temptation, and invite you to walk a path of obedience to Allah, they are rare. They are not just protecting their own soul, they are safeguarding yours as well. This is a sign that Allah is working in your favor. He is placing people in your life who will pull you toward Him, not away from Him. These are the kind of relationships you should cherish, nourish, and never take for granted. Losing such a person means undervaluing a divine blessing. It's like turning away from a gift that Allah sent specifically for your spiritual growth and protection. In Surah Al-Furqan 25:74, Allah praises the believers who pray for spouses and offspring that will be the comfort of our eyes and who will lead them in righteousness. This is the ideal, a relationship that strengthens your deen, not weakens it. So, if you find someone who is more concerned about your akhirah than your attention, hold on to them. Because in a world full of temptation, someone who wants to protect you from sin is a rare and precious sign that Allah is guiding your life with mercy and wisdom, even when you don't realize it. Sign 7. They turn to Allah to get you back. Sometimes, a relationship ends, not because of betrayal or hatred, but because both people weren't ready in the eyes of Allah. Maybe there was love, maybe there was sincerity, but something was missing. Alignment with the divine plan. So Allah, in His infinite wisdom, allows distance, not as punishment, but as purification. But here's where it gets profound. After the separation, one of them changes, not out of despair, but out of devotion. You hear they've started praying in congregation. They're fasting more. They're reciting Quran regularly. They're making sincere du'as, especially in the quiet moments of the night, not just for themselves, but for you too. That's not obsession, it's transformation. They're not chasing you through texts or calls. They're seeking you through Allah. That is a powerful sign that Allah is working in your favor. Because sometimes people must lose you to realize how much they needed to find Him. They turn their heartbreak into worship, their loss into longing, not for you first, but for Allah. And through that process, they become someone better, someone more deserving, if Allah wills, someone ready to come back into your life the right way. Allah says in Surah An-Nur 24:26, the impure are for the impure and the pure are for the pure. According to many scholars and tafsir, this verse reflects not just physical purity, but spiritual compatibility. When both hearts turn toward Allah, He brings them together in a way that's far stronger than before, this time with His blessing. So, if you hear of someone who once loved you, and now they're striving for Allah's pleasure, not out of manipulation, but out of sincerity, know that something special is happening. Their efforts in Deen may be the very bridge Allah uses to reconnect your paths in a pure, halal way. Because when someone turns to Allah to get you back, it's no longer just about love. It's about redemption, submission, and trust in Allah's timing. And that is one of the clearest signs that He is still writing your story beautifully. What should you do? If you feel these signs, if they are trying to come back, if your heart still makes dua for them, then don't stop praying. Keep the door open and strengthen your own relationship with Islam. Even if you need time, don't lose them. Allah doesn't send someone repeatedly. If He keeps showing you that person, there's wisdom behind it. Final words, dua and call to action. Dua. O Allah, if this person is written in my destiny, bring peace to their heart for me. Purify and make our relationship halal, and unite us in a way that we walk together in your path. Share this video, because maybe this is the one message that brings a lost soul back to the path of Allah.